Greetings, everyone. It is Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. As we always do before we get started, we just want to thank you all for joining this conversation. Those who are in the chat room, those who watch the replay. Again, thank you for joining this conversation. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Again, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. While you're there, okay, buy a book. Again, there's 81,000 of you. 81,000 subscribers. All right. So I provide tangible products. So I'm like, look, go and buy a tangible product. We all talking about tangibles. We give our vote away. We do this, we do that. We don't get nothing in return. So you contribute to the platform, right? Which then I reinvest that money into the platform to grow it. And how you contribute? You can either super chat, cash app, let me get that going. Or you're like, you know what, Donis, I just don't want to give you I don't want to give you my money without something physical or tangible in return. I have books and I got the shirts. So go, if you don't have a book yet, a children's book written by me. This is the new release. It's Libation Time, a children's guide to the ancestors. That's the new release. If you don't have a copy of that, okay, you need to go to dynastymirror.com. Get you a copy. Also, make sure you go check out the shirts as well, as far as the clothing line. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. I want to, and also like, share, and subscribe. Okay, again, if you come into the chat room, hit the like button. I mean, the least you could do is hit the like button and then share the content as well. Even though you might not find value in it, I don't know why. But somebody else might enjoy the conversation. So make sure you share the content. And then also, where but the book? I don't understand. Okay. And then also too, make sure you become a monthly Patreon, patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Again, patreon.com, search for Uhuru. When you become a Patreon, I do have some perks. So become a monthly Patreon.
Wonder China is trying to say, where do we buy the book?
Okay, again, go to dynastymirror.com, Wonder China. Go to dynastymirror.com. When you're on the site, make sure you join the email list as well. But when you're on the site, you'll see the option as far as the buy the book. So click on that link to buy the book. She'll be forwarded to Amazon. And, you can buy a book. So there we go. So today's topic, we're going to be discussing, and I'm trying to figure out, I want to give a disclaimer. I don't want to offend anybody. All right. I don't want to offend anybody, because I know when it comes to Breonna Taylor, I know when it comes to, what's the brother's name? Jacob. What's the brother's name? Brandon.
Jacob Blake. What's his name?
Jacob Blake, and then George Floyd. I don't want to offend people, but as far as the Breonna Taylor case, and there have been several cases in the past, I feel as if, let me break this down. Brandon, have you ever coached? And you know what? I forgot. Let me introduce Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Brandon, our brother Brandon, is on today. I didn't even introduce you.
Oh, it's all good, man. I was just writing my notes down because, it's an important topic, and I didn't want to come in here, not prepared, because we know people gonna hang on to the one maybe slightly debatable thing. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free to go to my YouTube channel. It's the same as my name on the screen. And I appreciate you if you subscribe and check out the videos. You don't got to like them if you don't like them. But if you do like them, and definitely subscribe just in case you want to keep coming back for more.
All right. So, Brandon, have you ever coached any sports? Of
course.
Has there been times that during your coaching career where you felt as if you were more passionate than the actual players or a player on the field?
Yes, of course.
A lot of these police-involved shootings, I feel as if the people who aren't directly involved are more passionate about seeing justice than the people who were involved, as far as the family members who lost a loved one due to a police shooting. a police involved shooting. And this is what I noticed. It's been consistent. I called this out about 3-4 years ago. Black man or black woman gets shot by police, gets killed. Here comes Benjamin Crump. I don't know how Benjamin Crump became the go-to guy when you're dealing with the shootings and killings of unarmed black men and women. But here comes Benjamin Crump. Here comes the settlement. Here comes the forgive, forgive, forgive. I'm sorry, first, before the settlement, here comes the forgive, forgive, forgive. Then here comes the settlement. But in between that, we got the hands up, don't shoot. I guess with Breonna Taylor, you know, the cops that killed Breonna Taylor are haven't been fired yet or haven't been prosecuted yet. We have all these protests. And it seems like the people who aren't directly involved are more upset and want justice versus the people who are involved. They just want a settlement check. So that's where the term ghetto lottery comes from. Shout out to College Genesis. He actually came up with that in regards to the shooting of unarmed, the settlements that happen after unarmed black men or black women are killed. But again, I keep seeing this pattern. Unarmed black man gets killed. Unarmed black woman gets killed by the police. Here comes Benjamin Crump. I don't know why they continue. I don't know how Benjamin. I don't understand where did Benjamin Crump come from, and how did he become the man?
Well, basically, I think it's actually the reverse of that.
Go ahead.
I actually think that the people who, the family is kind of like in shock. You lose a kid, you lose a close relative, you kind of don't know what to do. It's kind of like when you get in a car accident, right? People just don't know what to do. That's why when you drive down the road, you see all these billboards for call 1-800 the law 2, Larry H. Parker, all these different people, because they're basically like, if this happens to you and you don't know what to do, call this person and they'll handle everything for you, right? Mm-hmm. We live in a microwave society. People literally order Postmates and Uber Eats because they don't want to get off their butt and go to the store to get what they want. They call to have somebody drop it off right at their door. So what I believe is it's not that the people are not as passionate for justice. I believe that whenever a black person is killed, the situation is actually hijacked from the family. Mm-hmm. And these, like somebody put in the comments, these ambulance chasers end up stealing the entire situation from them in an effort to monetize the situation, right? So in the case of Breonna Taylor, Benjamin Crump, yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday, they did the thing where they got the settlement. And
I'm gonna read that too. Go ahead.
Benjamin Crump got on stage. All the white people got on talking about all the things that the city of Louisville was doing to prevent something like Breonna Taylor from ever happening again, right? They really, to me, they really did more than most cities do. Of course, I know it's not enough. It's never going to end. But they actually put some like action behind their words. And they start talking about all these programs they instituted, incentivizing cops to go stay in the cities, whatever. Benjamin Crump got on stage. And I don't know why people think this guy's intelligent. He talks like he's retarded or something. But the guy basically gets on stage. And the only thing he could focus on was, we got Breonna Taylor's family $12 million.
Of course, because you know how much of that he's going to probably take home.
Oh my God, he's probably going to take more than they're going to take. But we got Breonna Taylor's family $12 million. We got Breonna Taylor's family 12. That's all he could focus on. He didn't. He brings up the civil suit, and then he has the woman who worked with him on before him, and she's like, even though we need the social justice or the criminal justice, it's still very important, the civil justice. So black people can't get criminal justice, right? Criminal justice can only be used against us. When something is done to us, we can't expect for criminal justice to go both ways. We're going to get no criminal justice. We're just going to get civil justice. Meaning now what Benjamin Crump ultimately is saying is, I've basically raised the price on black life. Before they was getting $1 million or $2 million. Now a nigga dies somewhere, you can get 12 million, right? So he basically is telling white supremacy, this is the new price tag of you taking a black life if people are mad enough to actually pay attention to it. The guy's an ambulance chaser. He's ultimately a bum. He talks like he's retarded or something, but it's really bad that we allow people like this to exist in our community. It's really bad. You know, this is what Al Sharpton used to do. And it's funny because all these people were birthed from Al Sharpton. He was the first the racial ambulance chaser, right? And now you got people raising up like Shaun King, Black Lives Matter, all these different entities that just have risen up to chase different situations where black people get, you know, shot by the police and come in to take their cut. And that's all it is. That's why it is a ghetto lottery. They're looking at who's going to be able to take the lion's share of the bag that results whenever a black person gets killed. And that's what Benjamin Crump is doing. And I don't know why we feel the need. I don't know why we can't see that cycle. I mean, this guy represented Eric Gardner, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Tamir Rice, what's the other voice? The first one, the very first one, George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin. This one guy got a monopoly over every case where a black man gets shot in America. That it makes no sense.
All right, let me read this. Let me go through this article real quick. Breonna Taylor's family to receive $12 million settlement from the city of Louisville. In the aftermath of the botched police raid in which Miss Taylor was killed, the city also agreed to institute changes aimed at preventing future deaths by officers. Oh, God. Here he goes.
Dynas, the guy couldn't give a hell about Breonna Taylor. The guy actually said, when he got on stage, he literally said, the first thing I did was I called, oh my God. And then if you could have heard the plug he gave for Kamala Harris, man, it was really bad. But he was like, I called Al Sharpton, I called Charlemagne, I called Ricky Smiley, I called Oprah Winfrey. He just said he called all these different celebrities, right? Because what they realize is if you can publicize a black death enough, right, you can gain a significant monetary compensation for it, right? So basically, black men dying in America, black women dying in America has basically become like making a studio album. If you can get enough promotion, right? If you can get enough promotion,
repeat that again. It's a studio album.
Black death in America has become like making a studio album. If you can get the right record label to do your promotion, you can make us have a significant return on black death. And this guy is just the scum of the earth. He's an old civil rights time Negro, right? One of the things I show people, which should tell people you should never listen to or trust someone like Benjamin Crump. Benjamin Crump went on The Breakfast Club, right? And they ultimately asked, because he has a book that he wrote, it's crap. And they asked him, like, okay, so what needs to happen to make this black death stop in the United States? So, of course, he goes through his one phase, right, where he starts naming all the different bad things that happen to black people around the United States, right? Poverty, negativity, pimp type. And then so Charlemagne asks, Angela Yee asked him a good question. She says, how do we make all this stop? You know, you're the person who's the legal authority, right? All this is predicated on the idea that in some way, shape, or form, the United States, if we work hard enough and have enough conversations, we will be able to gain legal equity and justice, which will end the illegal massacre of black people in the United States. So Angela Yee asked, how do we stop this? This guy said, well, we got to let white people know what's going on out here in the streets of America and how we're been. And Charlemagne, as much as I dislike this guy, he said exactly what I was thinking. He said, Mr. Crump, they already know. And if you could have saw how this bootlicking coon started stuttering, you gotta laugh to keep from crying, right? right, Dynas? Because at that point you realize this man is like a child who knows that if he goes to the lunchroom at 2:30, he'll be able to get the leftover butter biscuits and extra milk cartons and cartons of orange juice that's left over from lunch and breakfast. So all he's doing, he's not trying to fix any problems. All he's doing is capitalizing on negative things or the murder of African people throughout the United States of America. That is the only service he can provide for our people, is capitalizing on Black death. Therefore, he has no incentive to try to stop it. You see what I'm saying?
You know what, Brent? I was also looking at this as well. The amount outside of Benjamin Crump and his monopoly, I wonder who's printing all these Breonna Taylor t-shirts, these hands up, don't shoot t-shirts, these masks. Like, I wonder who's making money off of that.
They probably are. They probably, bro. Look, can we address?
I just at least hope it's a Black-owned company, a Black-owned t-shirt
No,
company.
it's probably Asians. It's probably Asians. Can we address one comment? Moses Slaughter. We need more lawyers.
We got enough. You know how many lawyers are in Atlanta? Black lawyers in Atlanta.
What the hell are lawyers gonna do? Lawyers aren't even showing you the legal way to separate from whites in America. You don't hear lawyers getting on TV saying, Black people, if you want to stop getting killed, go build gated communities of 100 or more of you throughout the United States. As long as you got a private security firm that handles incidents that happen in there, you do not have to allow the police to patrol those gated communities. White people built gated communities to get away from you because they figured out a legal way to separate from you, right? They go build a bunch of houses in a close vicinity and put a gate around it, and no niggers allowed. That's what they put on the gate. Why aren't these lawyers teaching you the legal way to get away from your oppressor, right? While still making money and being able to benefit from his economy or be a part of the economy. That's what Jewish lawyers do. That's what Indian lawyers do. Our lawyers are bums, the vast majority of them. They only want to do civil rights cases, injury lawyers. They don't even want to do criminal defense. I have a good friend who's a lawyer. He actually does criminal defense over in LA. He's from DMV, from DC. The guy said, B, if you talk to a Black lawyer, he went to Wesleyan University. He said, B, if you talk to a Black lawyer, they have no interest in doing criminal justice or helping Black people who've really been wronged unless there's a monetary settlement involved. These guys just want to make money. They don't care about justice.
It's a job. It's just
a job. But these people keep saying, we need more lawyers. We need more Black cops. Guys, it's not gonna work. How many times do all of us have to get on the YouTube and the internet and tell y'all, if you look at the resume of what's happening, you look at the history, having Black cops ain't never, ever changed nothing about the way whites treat Black folks. Let me tell you something. In LA, in Long Beach, the majority of the police officers are Mexican, Hispanic.
Of course. Yeah.
Did that stop Black people from getting killed because we got the Black-Brown coalition? No. Everybody in those roles are working in service of white supremacy. If you talk about a lawyer already knows the system is rigged. So he's just like, I'm going to get my butter biscuits out of the system, right? Until the system no longer exists. And if you talk to any real lawyer, what are they going to tell you? The best thing to do, I have a lawyer on retainer. He's in LA. His name is Elliot Zarabi. The guy tells you straight up, Brandon, don't say anything to the police. If you get pulled over, you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, don't say anything. When the stop has been over, get the names of officers, call me. He can then call the DA and whoever and see what's going on with the situation and see if he could get, the stuff dropped. That happened for me before too. I actually had an issue with the child social service, right? And my job is working with children. And I was like, Elliot, bro, I can't do this. Like, I will lose my job if this comes back bad on me. That guy said, man, don't even worry about it. He told me just like this, bring me $300. Brought him $300 to his office downtown LA. Boom. He said, just a second. He picked up the phone, called the child social service, talked to the lady who was in charge of the case of the kid I was working with. He told her straight up, this needs to go away, or we're going to sue you. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get sued. You're on the verge of getting sued right now. My client's here. He's ready to proceed on you in a lawsuit. Either you make this go away because he's at no fault whatsoever, or you will be sued for millions. They called me the next day apologizing. Oh, please, Mr. Please forgive us. We know it wasn't you. It was something with the parents. And please don't, they were kissing my butt, right? Our lawyers don't operate in that capacity where they use the law against the racist, right? Mm-hmm. What they do is they go in with their hat in their hand like an old step and fetch, begging for things. Why are you begging for something you know is right? You just need to go in and say, look, we bring in legislation, we're prosecuting you. We are going to bring you to the Supreme Court. They don't do that. And that's exactly Benjamin Crump's attitude. Thank you, Massa, for giving us some butter biscuits, because you killed this girl with a no-knock warrant. She never did any crime. You slaughtered her. And we just thank you that you had enough mercy to throw us a butter biscuit and give us a bullshit apology. And this guy literally got on stage and said, we have no control over the criminal matter. You're a lawyer. How don't you have control over the criminal matter? He didn't say that. He did say that, Diamond. You could watch it where he said it. I watched the thing, waste my time listening to this stuttering boot.
How long was the press conference?
It was like 59 minutes, but you can just fast forward to where he's at, and he just says it right in the beginning. He's like, we have no power over the criminal case. That's up to the DA, the mayor, and these other entities. He said, all we got control over is the civil case, meaning they gave us niggas control over the money aspect, the monetary aspect, but we have no control over whether justice is really going to be served or not. And he just kept on using all these civil rights, buck dancing, BLM catchphrases. Oh, man, then he makes it like a feminist thing. This guy is just trash, man. He's useless to black people. Really, I probably could go represent the situation.
I think I can too. Let me read this up. Finish reading this article. Let's see here. Louisville, Kentucky. After months of protests that turned Breonna Taylor's name into a national slogan against police violence, city officials agreed to pay her family $12 million and institute reforms aimed at preventing the future deaths by officers. The settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit brought by the mother of Miss Taylor, a young black woman who was killed by white police officers in a botched raid last March, was announced Tuesday by her legal team and city officials. As protesters drummed outside City Hall, Miss Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, was joined by other relatives and advocates wearing black masks inscribed with Miss Taylor's name in white letters. I hope that company's black-owned, where they got the mask from. Her family lawyer, Ben Crump, said the settlement ensured that Miss Taylor's life wouldn't be swept under the rug like so many. Okay, this is okay. I mean, bro, okay. When's the last time you've heard of Eric Gardner, Alton Sterling, or Trayvon Martin in the news?
You haven't. When these people die, they talk about they got a little settlement, and then they forget about them, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen with Breonna Taylor. Trayvon Martin's mom was so trifling. She actually tried to use his death to secure political position. Dinus, she tried to run for a political position while not using Trayvon Martin's last name. She was using her maiden name to run for this political office and was on stage at the Democratic National Convention in 2016 and all this stuff. It was real bad because we got to the point where now black life has a price tag. And if you're willing to pay that price tag, all the Negroes going to come to the table, right, to try to get a piece. And we keep telling people, when you are in a place where your life there's a price tag on your life, your existence, guess what? You need to get the hell out of that place, because pretty soon you're going to have billionaires hunting niggas for sport, which they already do, but it's going to become prevalent, because they know all I got to pay is how much? Okay, go round up 50 of them and let's take them out. How much do you think $12 million is of Jeff Bezos' net worth? It's like 1%.
Not even 1%, bro.
You're a less than 1% Negro in America. Your death is nothing to them. And you sitting up here following these dudes leading you to nowhere. When Charlamagne asked Ben Crump, he told Ben Crump, well, the white people already know what they're doing. What do we do? You think that guy said, let's start building our own communities gated? You think that guy said we need to separate and start moving to Africa? No, they're never going to say anything that's going to hurt their pockets. They're never going to say anything that's going to hurt their pockets. And Ben Crump is liquid too, because when you check his net worth, he only worth about $5 million. But you know he's made over 50.
He gotta be worth more than that.
Yeah,
bro.
but he's liquid though. He don't own over $5 million worth of property. That's your net worth, right? So he stays liquid because that dude's probably like, I'm not staying here. Or he's probably like, I need money to get the hell out of here whenever hunting season on Negroes is open, you know, which it already is. But when it opened up for real, we just don't understand. We rather sit up and absorb this kind of negativity and these people who benefit from it. That guy is not held accountable at all. How is that man allowed to go into the black community every time somebody gets shot? Why isn't he working when no one's getting shot to secure the black community? Go to the Supreme Court and try to get legislation passed, right? Go to Congress, get legislation passed that protects the black family. No, he makes his money off after you get killed. Then he go in and work with the white folks. Look, don't worry. I'll take care of the niggas for you. Just make sure you cut the check. And you notice this? He got the ADOS mindset. Everything is okay. Just cut the check. That's not how I was raised, and that's not how I'm going to raise my children. Oh, everything is acceptable as long as there's a price tag. You might as well go put your booty up on the internet and sell that. Right. Because if everything got a price, what are you doing? How are you still broke?
All right, let me read the rest of this article. Shout out to Beige and Negress for the super chat. I think Crump is relying on profiting from the grief of the uninformed. All right, let me finish this article. The agreement they reached was relatively quick. That's another thing. A lot of these settlements take years, and then usually at least the cops go on trial or something. But this didn't happen. Like, this settlement came quick. The agreement they reached was relatively quick compared with other cases of police shootings, which have often dragged through court for years. It was sizable, with their family receiving more than double the amount paid to the relatives of Eric Garner, the New York man who died in a police chokehold in 2014. Most of all, it was unusual because of the range of reforms, a dozen in all, that the embattled city agreed to adopt in an effort to quell the protests that have left the downtown boarded up. The policing changes will require more oversight by top commanders and make mandatory safeguards that were common practice in the department, but for reasons that are unclear, were not followed the night of the March 13th raid. Based on at least 20 years of tracking these types of cases, I've never seen something like this, said Christopher 2X, a community organizer who was the first person Miss Taylor's family turned to after her death. The bottom line is the monetary amount combined with the reforms is unprecedented for us. In the past, it was monetary or nothing, and usually the city would fight you for years. So I'm guessing Christopher 2X got a check. Miss Taylor, 26, a 26-year-old emergency room technician, died after her boyfriend said he mistook police officers for an intruder as they rammed in the door of her apartment after midnight to execute a search warrant. He fired his handgun, striking an officer, setting off a response in which a torrent of bullets sliced through Miss Taylor's apartment and two adjoining ones, leaving her bleeding in her hallway. There was no effort to render her aid as the officers outside scrambled to get an ambulance for the wounded officer. The protests began locally and have grown in volume and intensity. They have ravaged the downtown of Kentucky's largest city, where businesses and government offices are boarded up. And the young woman's death has burrowed deep into the national conversation. Both the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, and the vice presidential nominee, Kamala Harris, called out her name at the Democratic National Convention last month. Oprah Winfrey bought dozens of billboards demanding justice for the young woman, and WNBA players have placed her name onto their jerseys. The top demand of the protesters who gathered nightly in a downtown square has been that criminal charges be brought against the three white officers who shot into Miss Taylor's home. But because officers were fired upon first, legal experts say their actions may be protected under Kentucky's statute, allowing the police to use lethal force in self-defense. For that reason, they say it is unlikely that a criminal inquiry inquiry underway by the state's attorney general will result in charges against at least 2 of the officers who were standing directly in front of Miss Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, when he opened fire first. The same legal experts believe that only a charge of wanton endangerment could be brought against the 3rd officer whom the police department fired, citing reckless conduct. He left the formation at the door, ran into the parking lot, and began blindly firing into the woman's window and patio door. Damn. Golly.
Come on, bro. That's it. But look, all he got was fire. They know that much about what he did, right? And all he got was fire. Dynast, if you don't mind, if I can share my screen, I have that clip of that dude talking about there's nothing we could do about the criminal suit. We can only do something about the civil suit.
All right, 1 second. Let me. There's really no need to read the rest of this article, though. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me stop it.
It's such a trash article, man.
Yeah.
These guys are trash. Period. Like, let me see if I can share this.
Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button, everybody. Also, go to dynasty.com.
Listen to this fool.
In Louisville, Kentucky, we took significant
You got to share the screen.
in the name of Breonna Taylor of trying to correct this broken criminal justice system. And we do it in 3 phases. In the civil rights phase with this civil lawsuit, which is the only thing that Lanita and I can control.
Hold on 1 second. Here we go. I'll go ahead.
Hold on. I got it right here.
Office in the city of America and one for white America.
Right here.
In Louisville, Kentucky, we took significant steps today in the name of Breonna Taylor of trying to correct this broken criminal justice system. And we do it in 3 phases. In the civil rights phase with this civil lawsuit, which is the only thing that Lanita and I can control. We can't control the criminal prosecution. The mayor's office and the city leadership all took a significant step in making sure that the civil rights of Breonna Taylor was recognized.
All right. Hey, listen, bro. We got to get this dude out of here. Get him. Bruh, your civil rights posthumously matter more than your human rights. They don't need you alive to still try to take credit for giving you your civil rights. You could be dead and laid up, and they still gonna be claiming victory over your civil rights when you dead. Isn't the #1 right to life? This butt dancing, boot licking, big lip Sambo got on that stage and said, we don't have control over the criminal aspect. The white man gonna decide what's gonna happen with the white man, right? All we can do is go beg for some butter biscuits. And we're not begging for the butter biscuits because of us. We're begging for the butter biscuits because we're not begging for them for the family. We're begging for them because we get a piece. Why did they need Benjamin Crump there at all? Larry H. Dan Parker could have got you some money. Mm-hmm. Any old injury lawyer in Kentucky, and I'm sure it's full of them, could have got you some money from the police department in the city. The city and police department don't mind giving you money. That's taxpayer money. Black people who work hard every day about to pay for white people slaughtering black people. Boy, this cracker got a tricky game, and the Negro is left behind. He not thinking. He too emotional. And when you come to him and talk to him about something, you got Cohen Davis in there. Brandon, don't be negative. Don't be negative. Okay, Cohen, I won't be negative. Same guy was in here defending Phil Scott a couple of weeks back, a couple of days ago. We don't want nothing. We don't want anything out of life, most of us. But there's some of us who do. It's some of us who don't want to lay down and get slaughtered and then go beg the master not to do it. But we keep telling y'all, there's no win for you in the United States. There's no win for you. There's no such thing as a moral victory, which is what my football coach used to tell me in high school. Brandon, either you win or you lose, right? At least if you learn, you never lose. but we refuse to learn, Dinus.
Brandon, what high school did you go to?
I went to Long Beach Poly, and Cabrillo High School on the west side.
Okay.
In Long Beach.
Did you graduate from Poly or no?
No, I graduated from Cabrillo.
All right, go ahead.
But if you understand, if you never give up, right? If you never lose, if you never give up, you never lose, right? But Black people have seemingly given up the idea that we can make it on our own. Everything about us now is tied in one way or another to getting a handout from white supremacy. That is a horrible way to live. You cannot promise your future generations another racist pockets. You can't do that. You cannot base everything you are on your ability to beg for butter biscuits from another race. And I'm not being negative. I'm telling you that you got the capacity to do way more, but you're going to have to be accountable and start operating based on that understanding, period. The only reason people like Benjamin Crump can exist in our community is because we don't believe we deserve anything better. The only reason negative, predatory people like that, negative, predatory YouTube channels can exist in our community is because we don't believe that we deserve any better. And it has become exactly what Dinus called it, a ghetto lottery. So if you want to be fake offended over us telling the truth, then you need to look at yourself and say, what is it about me to where the truth offends me? You want your boyfriend to be honest with you, but you can't even be honest with yourself. You want your girlfriend to be honest with you, but you can't even be honest about your situation in America. And once you become honest about your situation and operating accordingly, a lot of things will start going in the right direction from you. We are at war. We are taking losses. That's it. This year alone, how many public losses have we taken versus every other race in America?
But hold on, Brandon. When Biden and Kamala get in office, we're gonna start winning again. We're gonna win.
Deliverance. The coon lady at the Black business meeting with Kamala Harris in Milwaukee said that she can't wait till they get in because they're gonna deliver us from Donald Trump. And you know, it's a lot of people with that mindset. You hear watching this thing, you've seen Dinus, he been in Africa, he's making Africa his home. You know what I'm saying? Me, gonna make Africa my home. So many people are gonna do that. Yet you still got people in here talking about, well, they need to cut the check. They're only gonna cut the check once you're dead. So do you want to die for the check? Because if you don't, you need to start planning your exit. And that's the reality.
All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button. And once again, the email address is in the chat room. If you guys want to call in and ask a question, send me an email, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Again, uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. Send me an email and I will send you the link and you guys could call in and ask your question. Again, if you want to
call in too if you believe Benjamin Crump is doing a great service to the Black community. I want to know how much money have Benjamin Crump given to any Black community that he's profited from. How many programs have he started to educate Black children about their civil rights or the law? Because I got my legal education from an Arab in America who I pay. He gave me everything I need to know about surviving traffic stops. Brandon, it don't matter. It's not court. You know what he told me, Dinus? He said, Brandon, you play football, right? I said, yes. He said, name me one time when a call on the field has been overturned by a player arguing with a referee. Never in the history of sports. Never. He said, eventually, when the things got bad enough, they allowed an opportunity for the coach, right, to from the sideline challenge what's going on. He said that is America's legal system. The lawyers are the coaches, the people are the players, the police are the referees. Arguing with the police does you no good. Sitting up, why did you stop me? Does you no good. Do you hear Benjamin Crump saying that? No, he wants you to go out there and be a fool and get blasted, because when you get blasted, he gets paid. Where do you think his incentive lies? Let me tell you this real quick before somebody call in. This dude went on Breakfast Club. He used a quote that I really like. You know I'm into quotes. There's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, and Ben Crump used this, and maybe because they got the same name, he used this quote. He said, democracy is like two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner, right? He said liberty is properly arming the lamb to protest the outcome, right? Which means you give the lamb enough power. And back when Benjamin Franklin said it, he meant the public needs to be armed to fight against the government in the event that the government begins to prey on the people, right? That's what he was talking about.
Right.
Benjamin Big Lip, bootlicking, buck dancing Crump literally said, he said, you got to arm the people to protest. And that's what we do. We arm the people to protest against police brutality and against injustice and inequality. I said, here's the difference, Benjamin Big Lip, buck dancing coon. Benjamin Franklin was talking about arming the people with guns and telling them that they have the right to fight against the police or the government if they violate them. You talking about arming people to protest. What do you arm somebody with to protest, Dinus? All they got to do is
a bullhorn.
You handing out Nikes?
A bullhorn.
You handing out Nikes, right? Period. So everybody talking they trash. It's like this guy is just putting you in a circle. He got you in the ringer, bro. He's literally just collecting money. He checking his traps. Oh, and they got killed in Milwaukee. Let me go over there and get my money. Oh, somebody got killed over in Ohio. Let me go over there and get my money. You feel me? That's all he's doing. And people defend that. They actually, Brandon, you're wrong. You're being negative. But they can't give you an alternative explanation as to what he's doing. See, we have a problem when grown men analyze something and other grown men who are too lazy to analyze it call those men wrong. That's a recipe to make zero progress. I don't go argue with architects about how to make skyscrapers because I know nothing about that.
Right. Let me read this super chat real quick. Titus Beatley. Brandon speaks nothing but the genuine spatter. How many Africans died thus far this year by injustice and for what purpose? All right, guys, if you want to call in and ask a question, again, the email okay, here we go. People who disagree. See, this is what I can't stand. All right, if you disagree with Brandon, all right, again, if you disagree with Brandon and you support the likes of Benjamin Crump, Benjamin, Mr. No Justice but Settlement Crump, call in. All right, and state your case.
Look, Philip Lindsay said only 4% of lawyers are black. Well, when you only make up 4%, 13% of the entire population of the United States, 4% is a good number to represent you. That means a big number of your people are lawyers. If 4% of 13% represents lawyers, that means we got a lot of lawyers, right or wrong, Dinus?
You got a ton of lawyers. Here in Atlanta, everybody's a lawyer.
If you got listen, Philip Lindsay, I want you to do some simple math. If there are 400 million people in America, and 4% of those, of all the lawyers, right? Of all the lawyers in America, 4% of the lawyers are black. And there's only and black people are only 13% of the population. Does that or does that not mean you have a lot of representation in that field? Now, if you said how many black people are arthroscopic surgeons, it'll be like less than 1%. If you say how many black people are farmers, it would be less than 1%. So 4% is big time when you're talking about over 13% of the population. Which I believe he. This is like a white guy, but
Philip is light skinned. He's just real light skinned.
Oh, I can only see.
He's real light skinned.
I'm sorry, Phil, but I'm sure you believed you had a good point right there. We got to be realistic. I'm Pan-Africanism strikes back. I ain't here to give you the niceness. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be mean to you and degrade you, but I am going to give you the facts. And when you talk to me, the first question you need to ask yourself is, why are you adverse to the facts? 4% is not a good number of black lawyers. F out of here. See, this person failed at math.
Hey, you know, let me ask you this, Brandon, since you're in LA, in Long Beach, not too far from Compton. What's going on with this case as far as the 2 police officers that got shot?
Man, I think that was a Mexican who shot him. But, you know, for years, there's been like these gangs in the sheriff department of police officers who pretty much like go around and do like, what's that thing called training day type stuff?
Right. I believe it.
In the communities. And so I think they probably just did something to some Mexicans, and Mexicans aren't like black people. You do something to them, they're gonna retaliate on you. It don't matter if you got a badge, a gun, a overcoat, you know, a bucket hat, whatever. They're gonna come get you. So they probably got on the wrong side of the Mexican mafia, and they went and they went and took him out. I knew from looking at the video. I said, for one, he's not black, too short, right? And two, when's the last time a black person actually went up to the police and did something like that to him? And let me tell you the cold part. Oh, look, Philip, you agree with me? I agree with you too, Philip. Much love, my brother. But if you understand, if you understand that they don't do to other races what they do to us, because other races have a higher honor code than we do. A Mexican don't care about no money. You come after mi familia, they gonna rip your fingernails off.
You know what's crazy, Brandon? You just said something. Like when the non-black people, the unarmed non-black people who get killed by police, you never hear about their settlements, except for the white girl in Minnesota that one time.
Man, let me tell you something, Dinus. Most races don't even talk about negative things, Dinus. Me and BA was talking the other day. He said, B, how often do you hear about America telling you about the battles that they lose in war? He said, I was in the military. He said, we got our asses whooped sometimes in the Middle East. He said, one time we had to sit up in a hole in the ground for 24 hours under heavy fire and sniper fire in Afghanistan. He said they was picking us off one by one. We laid in that hole pissing on ourselves because
let me stop you, Brandon. You know what they do though? If they lose a battle, they glorify it, like the movie, not even Benghazi, the movie about the in Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Not that's Somalia. Afghanistan. The dude Mark Wahlberg played dude. Lone Survivor.
Yeah. They turn it into propaganda. Let me tell you something, Dinus, and I would love for everybody on here to pay very close attention to this. And I brought this up on another show. In 1945, America dropped 2 bombs on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You never hear Japanese people talk about that. 200,000 people died of their race. People who live on a little tiny island. You never hear them talk about that, Dinus, because people don't promote their shame. Only people who do that is 2 people. The Jews who do it in a way that benefits them and they get all kinds of freebies for it, and black people who get absolutely nothing but looked at as weak. Do you realize when you talk about slavery, 90% of people look at you like, wow, you just let somebody work you like a dog, huh? They look at you like 80% of them don't care, and 20% of them is glad it was you and not them. But we will constantly lament our negativity to other people because we want people to feel sorry for us, and we need to stop doing that.
Brandon, you know what's so cold about the and then DeAndre, we'll let you speak next. You know what's so cold about when they dropped the nuclear bombs on Japan? I think the U.S., the military, told Japan that they were going to drop one bomb in a different spot, but fake left and went right and dropped it somewhere else.
You know what's so cold about it? All the generals in the United States military told Harry Truman, you don't need to drop a bomb on Japan. They're only like 2 months out from surrender. He wanted to use that bomb that bad because he just wanted to see what it could do. And he not only dropped 1, he dropped 2, and the guy was a notorious racist. But you would never hear that from a Japanese person. When you walk in the sushi spot, they ain't talking about, they dropped the bomb on us in 1945. They're like, look, would you like miso soup, nigga? Or would you like, a California roll? They just want to prosper. We don't want prosperity. We don't want progress. We want other people to acknowledge that they hurt us. And that is why we're stuck in one place.
DeAndre, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, Brandon, how is a black family getting $12 million? How is that not prosperity?
Hold on. DeAndre, I can answer that, Brandon. DeAndre, would you want $12 million due to your loved one being killed? Like, is that the way you want to come up?
No, but you guys are being so hard. Like, Crump, he's a lawyer, right? That's his job. So he's doing
No. Crump presents himself as if he's a lawyer that's seeking justice, but he's nothing more than a settlement chaser, which is a difference. That's the problem. I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, what
So
didn't the
my
family
thing is,
settle though?
DeAndre, not to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but not to cut you off. So my thing is, from the beginning, just say, look, y'all, we gonna get this bag. We're gonna get this settlement, like they do. Like prime example, when I'm in my car and the radio's on, you got these commercials. If you get in an accident and you hurt your neck and your back, call me and I'll get you $100,000. Yeah, I went to so-and-so, I went to Lawyer Brandon, he got me $150,000. Yeah. Call me, get you $100,000 for your neck and your back. Just come out and be honest about it. Hey, I'm Benjamin Crump. If you get killed, if you are an unarmed black man and you get shot by the police, call me and I will get you $5 million. Just be honest. That's all we're saying. Like, don't come out here like you're some civil rights hero. You pushing change and and all this other stuff. Just be honest. Just do like the settlements do when you get a car accident. My neck and my back. Call 1-800. My neck and my back.
Deandra, do you know what the term virtue signaling means?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what Benjamin Crump is doing. Virtue signaling is when you pretend to care about something that you really don't give a damn about in an effort to persuade to sway public opinion. But Benjamin Crump has defended so many black men who have gotten shot by the police. I would argue that he no longer has the capacity to give a damn about that happening.
But what does that make? How does that make him different from other ambulance lawyers that are already out there?
Well, hold on. See, let me stop you. Okay, let me again, Deandra. Exactly. He's an ambulance lawyer. So just come out and present yourself as an ambulance lawyer and not some lawyer that you're trying to seek justice. Like you're some type of criminal or.
Well, we know ambulance lawyers are preying on the community, right? So I got a question to ask you. What is it about you that makes you feel like that's the best that you deserve when it comes to legal representation?
No.
And just answer the question.
Oh,
because
yeah,
you're defending
it
that
isn't
means
the best,
that's what you
but
feel you deserve.
I mean, it isn't the best. The best would obviously be for legislation to change, but who's doing that?
Oh, you can't do it. How do you change legislation when you got somebody saying, we don't got to change legislation, just give us $2 million? They see he's accepting. You ever saw the story of Jack and the Beanstalk? You ever heard that story? Jack accepts the beans, right? The magic beans before we even get a say-so as to what happens. So how does it change? And if you look at every case from 2010 going forward, right? Benjamin Crump has been the person handling the case. And so we get whatever Benjamin Crump asked for, right? That's what we get, whatever he asked for. So there is no precedent set that is going to change the trajectory of our situation in towards justice, right? In an upward motion towards justice. Our trajectory is going just like a plateau like this because the same guy handles every case and he asks for the same thing every time. And now white people have gotten the permission that they needed to keep killing us as long as they got the bag of money ready. And the bag will get significantly bigger, but Ben Crump is going to take way more. Let me tell you real quick before this person starts. When I was 18, I got in a car accident. This guy came up to me. What's up, brother? I see you got in a car accident. Didn't ask me if I was okay or nothing. Gave me his card. Said, my name is Marshall Broadway.
Shoot.
Well, listen, he gave me his card. He said, my name is Marshall Broadway. I work out of the Cochran Law Firm. Guy said, I'm going to get you paid, right? I went. He said, I'm going to call you next week. We going to handle all this. Guy calls me. Hey, Brandon, you going to this doctor. You need to go see this therapist. You need to go this place and be here at this time every week. I keep going. He's like, make sure you're going. So I'm going. At the end of the day, he was like, Brandon, I got a check for you, my brother. I said, bet. I go down to the Cochran Law Firm down on Wilshire in LA. I walk in. The dude hands me a check for $9,000. More money than I ever had in my life. I was only 18 years old. Do you know that accident was settled? The lady had an insurance called Hartford Insurance. That is one of the best auto insurance providers in the United States. Hartford Insurance. They pay. They don't ask no questions. If you got that insurance, they're going to cover you and the person you hit or kill. I got $9,000. Do you know that case settled for like $58,000? I got $9,000. What do you mean? What do you think Ben Crump gonna get off of 12 million? And he's dealing with a bunch of people. Not only are they grieving, they're probably not that intelligent letting this old cookie cutter lawyer represent them. You think if President Trump's son get killed, he gonna let Benjamin Crump represent him? So what do you think they're gonna get? And somebody kind of broke the numbers down loosely in the comments earlier when they said that once you pay taxes on that money, once they divide up, because Benjamin Crump is not the only lawyer on the case. There was a lawyer during the press conference that spoke before him. How much is she getting? See? So they're not only coming in and preying on your grief, they're also on the back end going to rob you blind for the 12 million. So those people will probably get about $1 million, 2 million, maybe. So tell me, now ask that question again, now that you've looked at it for what it really is versus what your feelings told you it was. It's not progress. It's just more of the same. And the same for us is unacceptable.
Cohan, go ahead.
Donis, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Brandon, good night, Brandon. Good night, Donis. Donis, I know I owe you a telephone call.
Brother Cohen, you're very low.
Oh, let me see if I can cut it up. Let me see. Give me 1 second.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, DeAndre.
Can you hear me now?
Well, basically, like, I was just gonna go say that. I mean, okay, basically, like, he's just black. Like, he's not saying that he's morally better than everybody else. Like, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what he's saying. Did you listen to the press conference?
No.
Okay, then you don't know what Ben Crump said. If you watch that press conference and he talked about, I wanted to make sure that people knew women's lives matter, and I was the one who, he just pats himself on the back. He went out to work for women. People don't care about women. Women are marginalized. He's just speaking to the talking points that he knows it's gonna make the majority of black folks get up. Oh yeah, he's for us, and it's gonna allow him to keep on doing what he does. But what
Brandon,
he perpetuates police violence against blacks. Go ahead.
Brandon,
yes,
Brandon,
sir.
you need to be mindful of the fact that the majority of African Americans are not Pan-Africans, and you want a Pan-African solution to Black Americans' problems. The majority of Black Americans believe in the system of Americanism, so they are using the channels of Americanism to get what they believe to be justice, even though it's financial. But what you're saying is not wrong, but your perspective is one who is a person who is a Pan-African. You must be mindful of that. So what I'm trying to say is when you are looking at something, you are saying that these people are being ridiculous, coons, and whatever have you, but they are looking from the spectacles of Pan-Africans. There is a distinctive difference. So they're gonna be more pacified by the money payout as opposed to your idea of Pan-Africanism, which is separation. So there's a distinctive difference. That's all I'm basically saying, and that you must be very mindful of that, because what you're gonna do is start to condemn people who may not necessarily know better, or who may not necessarily even be Pan-Africans. That's all I'm saying.
Cohen, as much as your accent reminds me of a cool Caribbean breeze, I would like to disagree with you on that. You have to realize, brother, are Asians Pan-Africans? Are Indians Pan-Africans? Are Mexicans Pan-Africans? Are whites Pan-African? No. But everything I've highlighted is exactly what those races don't allow to get justice in America.
But let's look at
it. Let me finish. So my solution, for one, I don't want every black person to come to Africa anyway, and I'm glad they're not Pan-African. But what I'm telling black people is this: if you're going to remain in the United States, you are going to have to change your rules of engagement. I don't want people to do it the Pan-Africanist way. I don't get on Dinah's channel because I'm a Pan-Africanist. I get on Dinah's channel because a lot of black people watch this channel from all walks of life, whether you accept it or not. The way black people, whether they want to be in America or Africa, the way we are handling criminal justice in America is leading us down a bad path. And what I'm telling them they're going to need to do is they're going to change the way they need to change the way they engage the legal system in America if they want it to stop. You're either going to have to fight back. You're either going to have to fight back, or you're going to have to change the way you react to these situations.
But Brandon, ultimately, your solution would be complete separation.
That's my solution for me in Pan-Africanism. If a person is here, I've already outlined you got to get rid of guys like Ben Crump, and you got to get. And I said Ben Crump has a monopoly on the on the industry, and that needs to change so that true justice can be given. That's a solution based in America.
But don't you actually believe and think that you can get true justice for Black people in America as a Pan-African?
You said, can I do what?
Can we get true justice in America?
Don't you actually believe that you can't get true justice for Black people in America as an African American, as a Pan-African? Sorry,
as a Pan-Africanist, I believe that you can get
justice. Get my charger real quick.
If you're willing to fight and die for it. How do you think the white man got justice for England? He fought in a war to get it. Now, if they're not willing to fight and die, then they got to do one or two things. They either need to run to Africa, right? Or they need to change the way they react to police violence in America. Trust me, brother. If someone kills my daughter and I go out and kill them and their son, that is justice. It may not be the form of justice that we are used to, but that is justice. And eye for eye is justice. We getting our eyes poked out, and we ain't even pinch a police officer.
But how many Black Americans do you feel are willing to die for that brand of justice?
Let me tell you something, Cohen. You guys believe that if you go in after a couple cops, right, the whole world is going to come to a standstill and everybody's going to come after you. In Compton, a Mexican just killed 2 cops. Life is going along as normal in California. I live 5 seconds from Compton. Life is going on just as normal. Do you understand that people die every day, especially in LA? But when you smash somebody who tried to smash on you, they get the picture real quick. They realize there is a consequence for doing that, and that will make them stop. If a police officer kills somebody who's Black and 5 police officers get shot in retaliation to that, you don't even got to tell the police officers they need to ease up on Black people. They're immediately going to stop doing it because they're going to say, nah, bro, last time that happened, 5 of us got dropped too. Now they're going to be telling each other, bro, you need to calm down. You need to stop trying to do that because every time you go get one of them, they go take out 3 of us. That's a natural way of things. Things go like that naturally, period.
I agree. But to my question, how many African Americans do you believe are prepared to die for that brand of justice? Because let me explain myself. Because Daniel Pantaleo in New York City, he is still healthy as a horse. George, I think his name is George Zimmerman. He's still healthy as a horse. If the majority of Black Americans believed in that brand of justice that you're talking about, they would no longer be here anymore. So that's kind of like my issue.
No.
Let me finish. And to your point, when you was talking about asking me whether the Asians are nationalists, they are in fact nationalists. They are very nationalistic. The Mexican community, they are very nationalistic. They shop at their own neighborhoods. They eat their own foods. The Black community in America, it would seem like they are more American than they are Black. In essence,
that makes no sense.
They're definitely not American because Americans don't allow tyranny. White Americans and other American ethnicities do not allow people to abuse them. That's a part of America. Freedom from tyranny. We accept tyranny because we are mostly just lazy and apathetic. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. When you look at Black people in America, and like I said, they got to change the rules of engagement if they want to stay here. But if you look at the other races in America, we are the only ones who tolerate the stuff that happens to us. We do that because we got a bunch of people sitting up justifying it, right? And you talk about George Zimmerman. I'm not going to index in there. I'm not going to kill George Zimmerman. Why would I do more for Trayvon Martin than his own daddy do for him? His dad is alive, healthy as a horse. If they touch mine, I'm going to go get him. If a Crip dies on 124th Street in LA, am I gonna go kill a person, kill them? No, his Crip homies or his Crip family members better go retaliate. You
But Brandon,
I'm gonna go into action. I'm not going to jail for somebody else's son getting killed unless they say, bro, we gotta go ride on these fools. And if it ain't me, it's you, and they coming for you next. Then I'm gonna go ride out. But I gotta take action first.
But Brandon, Trayvon Martin is your son. He is not distinctively different from what could possibly would have like happened to your kid if he was walking around in the neighborhood. There's no distinct. No, what I'm saying is.
Cole, let me stop you right there. We don't. The black community in America, we don't have that I guess cohesiveness that you're speaking of, like that. You know, we no longer have that. You know, if so and so's kid is on my street and he's acting line, you know, he's acting out of line, you know, I could discipline him. You can't do that in the black community anymore.
You can't do that in any community in America, Dinus. Nobody is gonna go ride. It don't matter what community. Nobody is gonna ride for somebody harder than their own family members will. If you go kill an Indian, the first person who gonna get the machete and come after you is the daddy, the mama, the brothers, and sisters. The other Indians gonna join in once they look at his mama and daddy running down the street with machetes. Where are you going? We about to go kill that nigga who killed Junior. Daddy gonna jump in and go after him. That even happens in Africa. The parent has to be the one that initiates the search for justice. It's even like that in the Bible, right? The daddy gets to throw the first stone. Now, if you okay with it, then I'm gonna be okay with it. I ain't gonna go out to report and you gonna do for your kid. But if we ride, we ride. If we not, we not.
Maybe you're right when you're talking about as far as cohesiveness goes, because in the Jewish community, if you harm a Jew in New York City or in any parts of America, the Jewish community is going to be after you. If you harm an Asian person in America, the Asian community is going to be after you. But I don't necessarily see that it might be the same way for African Americans, and I could be wrong.
We get pissed off and we go march. We don't get pissed off and go get blood. That's the difference. We don't go. Listen, let's be real. We're in the day and age. You don't got to go hit nobody, bro. $5,000, you get somebody knocked off any city in America. I'm telling you right now. We have so many ways. Where's our big boys, Jay-Z and all these dudes who got shooters and killers and all this stuff? We don't want to do it. So I'm not a person who's ignorant. See, that's the evolution of a black person. There's a three-part evolution of black people in America. First, you're ignorant. Then you're willfully ignorant. And then you're violently ignorant. That's us. But we only ignorant like that against each other. We're not ignorant like that against other races. Because you remember back in the day, Dinus, there was that one family on the block. You knew not to mess with them. When I was young, there was this family called the Everetts. We was on the west side. Those dudes were crazy. Those dudes will come to your birthday party, beat you up, and take your stuff. They'll try to do that with your family watching. They were crazy. Nobody on the block messed with them. Because if you fought one Everett, you had to fight all of them. They understood the reality, and they thrived based on that. We have lost that. It used to be that way in the black community. It's gone now. That's why you need to go back to Africa and rekindle that flame instead of sitting in America, coming on here trying to tell Brandon, you're actually wrong. And here's why.
I'm actually not in America right now. I'm actually not in America. But it's good.
So you over in the Caribbean talking like that?
It's good talking to y'all, brothers. It's good talking to y'all. I'm just gonna be out and continue to listen.
Okay.
Dinus, I know I have some business with you, and you're still in the back of my mind. I haven't forgotten about you.
Okay, brother. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, for sure. All right, go ahead. Go Black to Africa.
Did Deandra have something else she wanted to say?
Oh, Deandra, go ahead. Go ahead, Deandra.
Well, I was just thinking about what you were saying, and even though I don't like you, Brandon, you got a point. You got a point. That's all I'm gonna say for now.
I know. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you being open-minded enough to hear me out. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Deandra. All right, go ahead. Go back to go Black to Africa. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Was he muted?
No, he's not muted. Oh, he's muted. Unmute yourself. All right, go ahead.
No, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Guys, again, hit that like button. We have almost 300 people watching. Again, we have almost 300 people watching. Hit the like button. And also make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Go to dynastymir.com. Listen, there's almost 300 of you in this chat room. All 300 of you need to have a book. Go to dynastymir.com, go grab you a book, and go grab you
Can you hear
some gear as well. Yeah, we hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, so I'm not listening on what you all saying all right there. And, the topic of unity and all that in the Black community and all that right there, it's too much division. All right. I mean, we talk about other nationalists and all that right there. These people have a nation. We don't have a nation because we are considered to be Americans. The Chinaman, and whether it's the Filipinos or the Jews and all that right there, they're a nation. They have consulates, they have embassies that these people will speak up for their people while they're here in America. The other side of it is that a lot of us is just daggone crazy behind a religion called Christianity. We, a lot of us fools let these jokers kill our kids and turn around. We're going to hug them on the court stand. We're going to forgive them. We're going to pray for them. And yet, the society sees that, we let a lot of these jokers get away with murder. What's going on today now is like, with the case today, here it is, that's taxpayers' money that was actually given to the family. People have to realize that not $1 came out of any, the police budget or anything like that. That was straight taxpayers' money. So basically they sold out for $12 million, but we as a whole, we lost. They as the family, they won. So that's what people have to understand when it comes to these lawsuits, and get these payouts. Is that, you're going to go ahead and get a benefit, or you're going to get, a restitution, what have you, for the murder of your child. But we as a people, we lose. We lose every time until something nationally will be done as far as the police brutality and the change of the system. Nothing has changed. Not over the last 200 years, police.
Absolutely. Guys, hit that like button. Let's see, we got Black Opal. Black Opal, go ahead.
Hi, Dynast. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that we definitely do need to get rid of the whole turn the other cheek forgiveness thing.
Yeah.
It's getting exhausting. Like, I was watching a video and someone who said that mentioned how the boy, I forget his name, Jacob, in from Kenosha, how his mom, the first
Jacob
thing
Blake.
she said was how, she forgives the police, and someone was like, they didn't even ask for forgiveness. You out here quick to forgive. Did they even ask for forgiveness? Did they even say they were sorry? Yet you're the
They
one
get paid for
apologizing
that
already. So
They
it's
get
so,
paid
it's so
for
You gotta
crazy.
stand, Black Opal. That's part of the settlement. They gotta do that.
Yeah.
So it's outrageous. I feel like, okay, yes, it's great we are able to get settlements or whatever money, but we also need justice at the end of the day, because we shouldn't have to die. And at the end of the day, it's our money going back. So we're just gonna keep paying for our own people to get killed. Like, I just don't get that.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say.
We appreciate it, Black Opal. Guys, hit that like button. Brandon, you there? Brandon had to take a bathroom break.
Well, I'll say this right here, Dynast, is that, the time's coming where we're going to have to make a decision. We're either going to stay here, continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I say, my challenge, where's our elders? Our elders need to let our youth know that
the elders are they're retired. They're not.
They're retired. They're sitting on their hands. They've been through the rhetoric. They're exhausted. And so my thing is that, people like me, I have a duty to educate the youth. And that is that, hey, what we see out here today was done back in the 60s, was done in the 20s, whether you see the NAFAC, the INFAC, or whatever they're called out here with guns, the Black Panthers, they did all that there, the protesting, the burning down and all that. They've done all that. We've done all that right there. It's the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I said, go back to Africa. We have to go ahead and look on other land to get out of America.
Go Black, go Black. I always recommend, when I used to run this study group in Long Beach, the first book we read was Black Power by Kwame Ture. If you want a book that will definitively show you that everything we're trying has been tried and failed, right?
Yep.
If you want a book that's going to tell you what it's going to be, it's gonna be like prophecy for you. If you're real ignorant, it's going to tell you exactly at the end of the day, once you've done everything the white man tell you need to do to be on the same par with him in America. If you need a book that's going to tell you exactly what you're going to say, read that book, Black Power by Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael. Ultimately, they're going to say you did everything right. You've been a good little Negro, but you black. That's ultimately what they're going to say. Like, I see NFAC, all this stuff. That stuff is nice. I like it too. It looks cool. People in black walking around with guns and stuff, shooting each other. But guess what? The result of it is going to be no different than every other group who's done that in America. Because you have to understand, this country was never designed for you. You were a slave labor force. They brought you here for a reason. You fulfilled the job that they wanted you to do. Now they got Mexicans. Mexicans are no longer migrant farm workers who have no education and pick fruit. I went to the emergency room like three months ago. My doctor in the emergency room was a Mexican man. He was 28 years old. He was the son of immigrants. You go down to the courthouse. Most of the lawyers are Mexican. They are the sons and daughters of immigrants. Their new generation has come up. They no longer are going to settle for the hotel job. You are getting pushed out. They have evolved past you. Your evolution is ignorance, willful ignorance, and violently ignorant. That's our evolution in America. Their evolution is the daddy went from picking fruit to doing construction. The mama went from cleaning houses to owning her own cleaning company. And the children are now doctors and lawyers and engineers and all that stuff. You had your chance. You squandered that chance. Now you're going to have to regroup and start off towards the future. You're going to have to go towards the future. It's nothing else you can do. All you got to do is you got to know where you are. Assess where you are so you can make a realistic plan to make progress. Y'all still arguing about elections. You got to the point now, you arguing about an election to elect someone who's barely even black. You going downhill fast. And you so bad that when Pan-Africanism strikes back, tell you, hey, bro, this is what we need to do. Why are you being so negative? I'm not watching you. I'm going to go watch Phil and all this crap. You need to just realistically look at where you are. Okay? Okay? That's it. And I'm being real with you. Like, literally, today is my anniversary. And I just stepped out because my family members brought me, me and my wife, a cake for our anniversary and wanted to say all this stuff. So I went and saw that. And then I came right back here to talk to you. That's how serious I am about this. Do you understand? Yeah. And my family was cool with it because they know how serious I am about this. But you're not even that serious about your own situation.
You referring to me?
No, I'm talking about these people in the audience, the people watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is all for them, you know?
Oh yeah. We got a new guest.
Titus, go ahead.
What's up, family?
Go ahead.
Hey,
what's up, bro?
Titus?
My guy.
What's up, Dynas? First time I've been on your channel, man.
No problem, man. Thank you for joining.
Oh yeah, thank you. So yeah, I just want to confirm everything Brandon was saying. We at the point where it's like literally we at the vestige of our race. If you think about this, basically y'all all confirmed it because I mean, we know the strategy here. We know how American work. It's just the same system again and again. We're not getting anywhere by repeating. You know, it's just making us insane by living here and the conditions here. So the only thing I can really say for myself or advise anyone is to relocate. And that's, we're trying in the process to, our fellow Africans over there on the continent to, get the reparations or anything that is needed to be done, because over here it's just a disaster, man. That's it. It's just horrible over here. Conditions are, like somebody went to school and studying electrical tech, and you just thinking like, okay, when I finish, I'm gonna go work for this big known company or something. Let me go work for Tesla or something. but it's not. You work there, you generate enough revenue, and it's just like, okay, where's my position at as a black man? What am I, where's my contribution? What am I giving to my community
You
or
know,
my
Titus,
people, my heritage?
you know what's funny, Titus? When I was working in corporate America, I used to ask myself that same question. I was making good money riding around LA in a Porsche, and I used to ask myself that same question.
Everybody comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's okay to be comfortable, just don't be comfortable with a bunch of nothing. That's the real problem.
Here's the other thing. A lot of people understand. There's a lot of people who left America who are over in the African land. Definitely a whole lot of people, So it's really, that we just need to wake up and realize that we can go to other land and be way much more successful.
Yes. Yes. And like Brandon trying to really stress to people is take that time to self-evaluate your situation, your life really, before, everybody has a lifeline. It's going to come to an end, but, at least you want to evaluate yourself.
It's all the truth. What do they say? You don't got to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. And I see, and when I come on YouTube, it's more like a relief, because I see a lot of men go black to Africa. Titus, my brother, we always talk, Dynas, and different people who are really motivated behind this, right? This is the real movement. This is the real move, because you have black men who are here. We're consistent. We're honest with you. We don't have to talk to people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do that because we care about you. You're steadily looking out into the white, multiverse, looking for the black person who's going to rise as a leader. And you got people who are already leading. It's just, are you going to do what it takes to become a qualified follower? Are you going to be the person who recognizes what's best for you and operates based on that? Or are you going to willfully be distracted by all the ignorance so that you end up being like our grandparents and parents, 67 years old, wasted your whole life in America waiting for civil rights to come through, and everywhere you go, everywhere you look, your rights are slowly but surely being taken away from you, if you ever had any in the first place. I mean, you still got the right to remain silent, but you never use that right. But the other rights are gone. There's nothing here for you. It's run them up. So it's up to you. You can't just be watching it just to sit up and be spoon fed. You got to be watching this, planning your next move.
Well said. Well said. I just think that in society today, I mean, I'm 54 years old, so I've been around the block about a time or two. But I'm gonna tell you this right here. There's every point in my time have I seen us blacks have changed and become Negropeans. It's surprising that I run across people who will deny having any African descent, or they won't say they're black. They say they're American. There's people who will live and die in this country. They wholeheartedly believe that this country is all for them. And so, I try not to even try to deal with those people anymore or try to convince them, because, hey, they're just in their place, and as long as everything is good for them and they're comfortable, they're not going to make change. They're not going to make change until something happens to one of their loved ones. And then they're up in uproar, crying on the camera behind the podium, trying to convince people to stop rioting and looting and all that stuff there because they're getting paid.
Go back to Africa. Sorry to interrupt. You say you're 54 years old?
Yeah.
God damn, bro. You look good, man. Like shit. Well, go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that, we're confused people. We're confused who we are when it comes to our gender, when it comes to our spirituality, when it comes to our identity, when it comes to our culture. We are a lost people. And it's sad when I see this transformation, from where we used to be to where we are today. It's ridiculous. It's right out ridiculous in this black community. And I tell you, I try to tell myself, stop saying black community, because it's individuality. You got people who just have total different mentalities now. Not everybody has a Pan-African mindset or consciousness. Majority of people just don't. They're Americans.
Go Black to Africa. There's a guy, he's a motivational speaker. His name is Dennis Waitley. He has a famous quote. In the quote, he says, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Mm-hmm. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not, right? Mm-hmm. And so you got these guys, oh, I'm a Moor, I'm a Hebrew, oh, I'm indigenous, right? This is who they think they are. But who you think you are is not holding you back. What's holding you back is the person you think you're not. And the person you think you're not is an African. Your refusal to acknowledge your African roots condemns you. And one day my wife, she was telling me, she said, Brandon, maybe these people, have been condemned or cursed by the ancestors to believe that they're not African, so they don't bring back a poisonous mindset to Africa, right? Because I really believe our ancestors are at work and they're operating and working with us daily. And I really believe that the people who refuse to acknowledge themselves being Africans, that's been put upon them for a reason, so that they don't carry their negative attitude back to, Africa. Yeah. And even if you look at the situation, 90% of the people getting murdered in the street aren't Pan-Africanists. The people getting murdered in the street are most likely the people who say, I ain't no African. Look at George Floyd. I don't have no real remorse for that dude. That dude wasn't going to do nothing to support me or my family or anything I'm doing. So the people, they're getting exactly what happens to a person who doesn't recognize who or what he is. If a lamb doesn't recognize that he's a lamb and want to ditch the lambs to go hang with the wolves, he's going to be dinner, right? He's in denial about what he is, and it's going to cost him in the long run. And that plays out on a social scale, on a massive scale when it comes to Black people.
That's right. That's on point.
Jenna, we got our sister Gina on. Go ahead, Gina.
Dynas, you sent me the link, bro. What's the topic?
So you in here commenting in the chat room?
I literally just came in.
Don't know what's going on.
She's an agent. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm an agent. No, I literally just came in when I put my hashtag in and I saw the topic. I just wanted to come and show support for the platform.
I gotta hear your take on this.
Okay, what's our topic? What's our subject matter?
So Breonna Taylor, I guess family took a $12 million settlement led by Crump.
Wow.
12 million.
Wow. So that is to prevent him from being charged.
Yeah, the cops are being charged.
Of course.
That's the price. That's the new price of a Black life.
Hold on one second. Shout out to Coach Donnie B for the $50 super chat, and everybody who super chatted. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can buy me a rib.
Let's not forget, y'all. White face dollar. Seriously, that's pushing their agenda for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no winners in that situation, obviously, because Breonna lost her life, and this is another way for them to avoid paying for their crimes. I mean, the entire system is designed for them to avoid paying for their crimes one way or another. I mean, in another light, I am happy at least that her family did receive some compensation, because many victims of the police have not received anything at all. And they walk away with the damage done to their families, but there are no winners in these kind of situations. At the end of the day, just like Go Black to Africa said, I say it all the time on my platform, you remain in those environments, you are at a high risk of being affected, because the people that have been affected had no intention of becoming victims either. They were living their life and doing whatever. In regards to Breonna, she was, she probably didn't even know what was happening. She was in her bed, in her home, not doing anything when she was affected. But that's another casualty of being in that environment. I know, obviously I'm from Ohio, and I had one of my, classmates. I had one of my classmates from the University of Cincinnati. Her uncle, they had a mass shooting there a few months ago, Well, I can't remember when. My memory is really bad. They had a mass shooting there, though. I think it was earlier this year, in Dayton, and basically somebody just went to the bar and started shooting people, and her uncle was in the bar, and he was killed by that mass shooting. You know, so these are the kind of scenarios that we have to consider. The writing is on the wall. You know, I think I'm very happy to see a lot of our people have got the message and are preparing themselves for the continent, because the reality is the dynamics that we face in the West, even here in the UK, it's not as violent and stuff as America, but we still deal with the systematic racism. It's just a part of being here, you know. So when we come to that realization, our next mode of action is, okay, what am I going to do despite the reality of the situation I'm in? I have two options. I can stay here and be subject to it, hope that I do not get absorbed by this racism and brutality and all that, or I can roll the dice, take my chances on the continent. There are many people from the diaspora that I'm learning about through social media that have taken that chance and are doing very well for themselves. And, you know, I'm a person who just likes to make an educated decision based on the facts. So the facts are, being in this environment is very, very dangerous for us. We have much more risk than supportive elements. We do have challenges going to the continent. We are pioneers. This is historic. So a lot of the framework, we're going to need to put that into place in regards to how the diaspora reacclimates to the continent. But we still have a lot more potential to design that in a way that will suit and benefit us and help us establish ourselves. We don't even have that in the places that we're born and raised, and, you know, contribute so much of our time and income. We can't, you know. And I think it's also, as someone who worked in the mental health environment, I talked about this on my channel yesterday. Being in that environment is also impacting our mental health, because when you're not allotted the ability to escalate in life, when that has been robbed from you, you then lose hope, because the situation that you're in, you know that nothing that you can do can impact it. So for Africa, many of us, it is hope, you know, because it's like, okay, I can actually go start the business, or I can live without the racism, or I can build my home, or I can start a family. And, you know, that gives you that energy again, knowing that there's potential. But obviously, where we are in these situations, we know that this is going to be an ongoing dynamic, and it makes us have an emotional response, depression. It can lead to so many issues. And so, you know, in regards to Breonna, again, to go back to that, it was a terrible situation. I'm happy at least her family walked away with something, but this is not going to change the climate. Even George Floyd didn't change the climate of what's going on. Less than 2 months later, there's another victim. So those are my thoughts.
You guys remember the movie Raisin in the Sun?
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Titus, brother, we appreciate you coming on, man. I just want to bring somebody else on here.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon.
You guys remember the movie Raisin in the Sun, when the daughter, she was dating an African, and the African dude said, you know, isn't there something wrong in a house, in a world where all dreams, good or bad, must depend on the death of a man? That's kind of what we're living in America. Like, people are literally selling. Remember when Puffy, I'm talking about the one where Puffy was, where they have Puffy, and the mama said, you know, so now life is about money. Money is life. Once upon a time, freedom used to be life. Now it's money, right? We now are settling for, oh, well, at least her family got paid. The life itself means nothing to us. Do we realize how hypocritical we sound when we sit up and go out in the street and march and tear stuff up and I can't breathe and don't shoot, and then as soon as they come waving the bag of money, all is forgiven? You just sound like a hypocrite. And remember, Tupac said, "Tell me what a black life's worth." Remember that? We forgot that.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you know, but I mean, the reality.
1 second, Jenna. Sorry about that, guys. Hit that like button, and so people in the chat room keep stating they still want charges against the cops. They're not gonna get any charges, you
No,
guys.
I mean that's the settlement. That's what they
Yeah, who's
took.
taking a settlement
That was
before
the
they
Right.
have
settlement.
That's what
to
they
trial
took.
the charges? Yeah.
Yeah, to abdicate him. That's what they took. But just like I believe it was Go Black to Africa said, or maybe it was Brandon that said, it was Brandon that said the folks that are still out there protesting and have no concept of getting out of that environment or taking any other options. Those are the people that are being affected, by this stuff. They should really be cognizant of the environment because they're front and center. Those of us that are, I think a lot of us, we have emotionally checked out from our Western environments and we're focused on the continent. So there's no way we're going to be out there at no, protests, putting ourselves in harm's way. But when it comes to the police, because they're just so out of control, any situation that you come in contact with them can escalate to that level, especially if you are Black, so it's something just to consider. And I mean, I know, like Brandon said, there is no viable price for life. But there's nothing that we can do to bring her back, so at least they can walk, because I mean her family's probably, I don't know, maybe after this incident they might be ready to get out the country. They might take that money and be like, okay, this is our opportunity to go, but I don't know what the probability of that
Not
is.
the way she was standing on that stage hugged up with Benjamin Crump. She was like, "Oh, I got my butter biscuits, baby."
Let me read this super chat real quick. Great show today. You guys love your show. So far, look. But I know as Black men, we got to man up and God up. There's a war going to happen in Ethiopia and China over that dam and debt that they have to monetize their money. What does that mean? Real quick, Fajumani, let me unmute you. Your phone. Oh, you dropped off. Oh. All right, Nicholas, go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to Brandon. I love your mindset, man. I can really, really relate to a lot of things you're saying. You know what I mean? And me and you were in the same headspace. Like talking to you, I can already know like when that great war comes, we know eventually it's gonna happen. We're gonna have to fight them. I already know, your descendants are gonna be part of that war, and my descendants are gonna be part of that war. It's like we're pretty. What's the word for it? We're dancing around it, acting like we don't know what the heck's going on. But it's like, it's like a lot of us are asleep. You know what I mean? Me, Caribbean, Haiti, you know what I'm saying? But as soon as I started diving into the history a few years back, I realized that like we're not the same Haitians that we were. A lot of us have been brainwashed by, missionaries coming into the country and things like that. I mean, like you read about guys like what's his name, Pilat Charmaine. When the U.S. landed, to occupy us, and right off the bat, guns blazing. We're not having that. You know what I'm saying? That revolutionary spirit has died. You know what I'm saying? But with the African American community in the U.S., I feel like you guys, hands down, give us the best shot, to basically changing this thing around, right? Because you guys been experiencing hardship with these devils nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Nonstop, day in, day out. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And then you guys are able to, I guess, take information a lot better and change your mind. I know, Steve, it may seem hard, but trust me, like talking to some Haitians or even a traditional Haitian, it's like it's like you're not gonna change. You're not gonna get any sorry about that, kind of popped the pimple next to my nose. I'm bleeding. But things like that's it's very hard. But what I also want to say is like, how do we get like more people involved? Sometimes I'll go online or I talk to my homeboys like, yo, we gotta take a trip to Africa. Let's go to Africa. I'm saying now they're close around me. All of them are gonna say yes because I tell what's on my mind. I mean, I speak what's on my mind. So naturally, they all know half of the shit I know. At least by now, I hope so. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always drilling into their heads, things like that, which is really the game, really what our goal should be to gather some troops, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. But a lot of people, we need to find a way to basically get their attention. Like the people that do not know zap shit about the history. You know what I mean? They don't know anything. All they know is mainstream the school curriculum that we all went through. You know what I'm saying? George Washington cut down a damn apple tree. You know, some shit like that. How do we get their attention to get them to come visit the continent? You know what I'm saying? Because especially a lot of us, I feel like, especially my generation, we're all about fun. We're about fun and women and flashy and things like that. And I think it was sometime like last week, I went on Snapchat, right? And then I went on the maps. And I'm saying, I want to see what the brothers and sisters are doing on the continent. And you know what I mean? And it was, everybody was having a good time. Everybody was having a good time. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was partying. And it was great because you didn't see any white folks. And it was more diverse. You saw different foods. You saw, you were listening to gangster rap. One guy was listening to G Unit. You know what I'm saying? And man, I felt, it was weird. It's almost as if I was there. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird. And I've never been there, but it's like, it feels like I can connect with them instantly. You know what I'm saying? I already can tell, like, once I'm landing, once me and my boys do take that trip, it's gonna be like basically like seeing some long lost relatives or a cousin or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like we definitely need to start finding ways to grasp the attention of people who are not into the things we're into. Because everybody here, everybody that's, we're fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if us, the ones that do stay, they're gonna make the adjustments that need to be made. They're gonna make cognitive decisions to say, okay, I'm gonna go to a black business today. I'm gonna give this, this brother my dollar. You know what I'm saying? It's the other like 99% that we need to somewhat sway them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's
I mean, you don't really even have to sway anybody, bro. Like, you gotta make sure that you do what you gotta do. Your friends, they're grown men. Most people just follow along with whatever the leader does. Like, you see a pack of wolves. When's the last time you saw the lead wolf or the alpha male with a leash wrapped around the neck of the next wolf standing next to him? You don't. He just goes one way, and the other wolves are like, yo, following him is the best chance of survival. Because you're gonna have people who come up with all types of Negro stalling tactics. Even in the comments, you got people talking about, oh, we need money. The Industrial Revolution led by black billionaires. Most of these people can't even spell billionaire, but they've already got their excuses. And like, I made a video on my channel today, and I talked about self-doubt. And I talked about how sometimes we set the bar so high for ourselves so we can excuse not doing anything, right?
That's right.
How long are you going to sit up waiting for a bunch of black billionaires to lead an industrial revolution? When is that going to come? 100 or 300 years from now? But if you leave that as your bar, that justifies you just sitting on the couch spending your money on butter biscuits and KFC. So what a man does is a man just leads, and sometimes you only lead yourself, right? You might go and you might be by yourself, but you got to have confidence in standing on your own square, right? So what you do is you basically get rid of the self-doubt, right? See, what happens is if you set small, easily attainable goals for yourself that you can reach very easily, you never allow self-doubt to even creep in. And once you practice doing that so much, the big goals become easy to reach because you're well practiced at setting goals and reaching them, right? So what you got to do, bro, you got to set a goal for yourself. And once you start hitting those goals, your bro's going to be looking around like, yo, the bro is leaving us behind. Black folks is keep up with the Joneses. Monkey see, monkey do. They going to follow you just because you're doing it.
That's
right? You see them boys with the pants wrapped around their ankles, the skinny jeans.
With the big ass, with the Gucci belt.
Yeah, somebody probably didn't have no clothes. Probably some bum sleeping over on somebody's couch. Probably didn't have no clothes and said, bro, let me borrow your pants. Bro, you don't wear my size. Come on, bro, just give them to me. And wore that stuff and squeezed in them pants and wrapped them around his ankles. Next thing you know, a bunch of people is doing it. Black people follow trends. So you got to be a trendsetter. To set a trend, you have to be the first person to step out into the light. And maybe they'll follow you. Maybe they won't. Maybe the people who do follow you will be people you don't even know. Dinus don't know all the people on here, but look how many people show up to listen to what he got to say. And I bet you most of these people don't even come from the place where he grew up. Because it's not going to be the people closest that respond to you. You can't be a prophet in your own land. But somebody out there is waiting for you to make a move so they can follow suit.
Absolutely. And let me get Fajumani. Fajumani, go ahead, bro. You gotta mute yourself. Shout out to Titus Beatley. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Titus Beatley. Much love. The people on the panel have merchandise and have an investment group. Please contact them. Serious inquiries. All right, go ahead, Fajumani.
Quick commercial.
Maonio, Shalakani. Oh man, you got that. You got that Chicago, that Southside Chicago Metro PCS going for Fajumani. That's that Boost Mobile, that Southside Chicago. I can't.
No. I got like unlimited. I got unlimited minutes. I got unlimited minutes. iPhone, man, and Sprint. Unlimited. Has a common point. Is it my earpiece? Can you hear me? Because it could be my earpiece.
Go ahead. You just
take the earpiece off.
You're lagging. You're lagging. Your video's lagging.
Turn off your video and take out your earpiece.
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm off the lake. I'm by the lake, so the lake mess with waves. Yeah, it's the lake, man. This always doing. Might be my connect.
Nah, brother. Like I said, that's that Southside Chicago. I know that Southside Chicago Metro PCS. That's what that is. You got that Southside special.
Try this differently. You
got the track phone,
man.
You got the track phone.
Oh, unstable internet connection. No, man, I got unlimited minutes. They doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You got
it's
that
still
Obama
lagging.
phone.
Is it still lagging?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, I was just gonna say this. I mean, we ain't gonna get justice here. I agree with everybody who said that. Ain't gonna be no justice here for none of us. And it's the culture. We have to get out of their culture as well. When a white officer kills a black person, you have to ask yourself what's in that consciousness of that killer. It's their culture. When we accept their culture, it makes us hate ourselves or feel like we want to hurt ourselves quicker over here. When we get out of here, and I hope to be seeing you soon, November, back in Africa, back in Nigeria.
I already bought my ticket. I'll be in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, and then I'm going to Nigeria.
Oh, I'll be out east.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got my ticket too, man. I'm out on October 4th.
Y'all making moves, man. Y'all making moves.
I want to send you. I want to send my money in. But no, I was saying it's the culture though. Like, okay, we're gonna get out of here, go to Africa. We can't carry that culture over there and their mentality over there. That mentality is a killer of us, whether it's us killing us or them. It's their culture that trains and teaches us to do these things we do. It's their culture that keeps us in the place where we're at. It's their culture that's killing us, whether it's dietary, spiritual, police, systemic. It's their culture. And we must get it out of us before we get out of it. We don't want to carry that to the continent. That's one point. My other and last point, and I appreciate y'all for listening. Mm-hmm. People in the chat room taking shots at Masons all the time, cracking me up. Listen, Prince Hall in the 1700s had a Back to Africa movement. If you Google Prince Hall letter to the Massachusetts legislature, and he demanded that we get sent back to Africa if they won't treat us right, if they won't recognize our freedom. And before Prince Hall, those Africans over there, the fight to go back to Africa is nothing new. But I like it's new the way that Dynas is doing it, African Superstar, and many of you all. And I'm about to make that move and move over there, get my property and everything, thanks to you all. But it's not new. It was Africans on the continent that fought for you to come back, whether it was on the shores, on the boat, whichever way it happened. So get rid of their culture and make a new move and with a new mind and a new consciousness. I say that in all of them already. And all Ifa.
We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
And then Nicholas and Go Black to Africa. I'm gonna bring some more people on here, brother. We appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, brother.
All right.
Dynus, just to piggyback off what the gentleman said, I totally agree, because I actually saw a video that was sent to me a few days ago of this white man. I mean, he was fighting the officers, like he reached for their gun and everything, and they never, not once, tased him, struck him back, threatened to shoot him or anything. And it's second nature for them to respond to us like that, even if we're calm, even if we're complying. It is cultural. They feel that they can do whatever without consequences. It's totally evident, and they don't care about our cries. So I definitely agree with the gentleman. He had a good point.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. Brandy, go ahead, Brandy.
How are y'all today?
I could barely hear you.
I think she's froze.
Brandy. Yeah, I think she froze up on us. Okay.
Dinah, she not responding to that. You gotta sing, Brandy, you're a fine girl. No.
I think she's back now. Hold on. Brandy. Brandy. Yeah, go ahead. Huh?
Can you hear me?
Barely. You're very low.
The phone is low.
Yeah, it's that track phone. Y'all can't be having these track phones in 2020. Y'all can't be having these track phones in 2020. Golly.
Is it how it goes?
Go ahead, Brandy. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on earlier how, the $12 million is such an insult. But, on top of being not even compensated for the loss of your loved one, they give you this money and then you turn around and you send it back in the same community that killed your loved one. And I just find it really weird. I know this is kind of backtracking to earlier on the conversation, but I've been trying to just get in and just to say my piece about it. We get this $12 million coming in. What are you going to do? You going to buy a car? You going to buy a house in the same community that killed your loved one, reinvesting your money back to the same community instead of taking that money, and building something somewhere else. Like, you get this money and you just keep circulating it within the same races as, the same race community that killed your loved one. I just find it really odd. It's happened several times where people get settlements and they just don't give it right back to the same department, the same taxpayer that killed your loved one. It's very odd.
No, you're right. We appreciate you coming on, Brandy. You want to address that African superstar or Brandon?
Yeah, she's right. I mean, and that's what I said. Like, I don't know them. I can't speak on their behalf, but unfortunately, a lot of people that are in the diaspora are not, they haven't considered the option. Either they're not aware or they're not interested in going elsewhere. They still believe that they can somehow carve out a sanctuary in that hostile environment. So 9 times out of 10, her family probably will. They'll probably do exactly what Brandy's saying and spend the money right back in the environment. I mean, honestly, that's probably what a lot of people would do if they were awarded reparations as well. They would spend it right back. They would go through their money, and when their money was finished, then what? Then what?
Right.
They
know what I
mean?
mean?
With EDD.
I mean, because we have an example. I heard that through coronavirus, people been buying acres of land in America and things like that. Groups of people have been putting their money together and buying land. So that just lets you know they still believe that, okay, we can still live peaceably with these people. We have so many historic examples of how dangerous that environment is for us. Even if we try to separate, if we try to integrate, if we try to, be acceptable to them any kind of way, it's not enough for them. They are so hostile and violent and dangerous, Yeah. So that's what it is at the end of the day. And we do have, in as much there are issues on the continent, we have a lot of supportive elements, such as community. Being part of the majority is a huge thing, even though folks on the continent, some of them, they've suffered colonialism, they're brainwashed, they're, religious and all these kind of things. We still have the advantages of being in that environment. You know what I mean? Compared to when we're in a minority setting, we're always going to be at a disadvantage because there's fewer of us, plus the community, like Go Black to Africa said, the Black community in the diaspora is severely challenged. So we don't even have that cohesion to force change or, so I do concur with what Brandy shared.
And do you want to add something to that, Brandon? And after that, we'll go ahead and do one more round and we'll close out.
No, I think that's all I really had to say. Thanks so much for having me on.
No problem, Brandy. Thank you. All right,
look, black people currently are collecting hundreds of thousands of dollars in EDD scam money right now. What are people, no, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I got family.
You got some too?
I got some lowbrow family members, bro. And they popping up with $3,000 Yves Saint Laurent purses, and this is just a everyday bag or some crap. And I mean, they're not even thinking about doing anything that's gonna have any impact on their future. They're just like, we got some money, let's spend it. So it's just like, like my grandpa told me, if you don't respect money, you can get millions of dollars and you're gonna just end up squandering it. So we talk about reparations. We talk about giving these people, you're about to hand these people more money than they ever imagined they would get.
Right.
And that's just going to be okay, right? It's just like, what are you going to do? Like, I live in the city where the guy, Brian Banks, had got convicted of rape wrongfully, and he ended up getting out of jail. They made a movie about him. And they gave that girl like $2 or $3 million, right? She wasted it all. They said she bought like 23 cars off the lot brand new, bro. Like all her family.
Hold on, y'all. Shout out to Nas Media.
Nas
for the
I see you cashing out, Nas. Nas is cashing you out, man.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you for donating to the church.
That ain't 99 Kenyan shillings either.
That's 99 USD. Shout out to Noopy.
Hey, that's what look, Dynasty, they should support you, man. You really out here giving them the real, not just trying to, manipulate them one way or the other towards your pockets.
Dynasty is he's a Pan-African pioneer on the continent and on YouTube. He was doing this back before it was hot.
It wasn't sexy. Back before
he was going out. He was going out to see the Himba, the Maasais. He was going to the what's that festival?
Hold on a second. Hey, Nas, there's no trip in November. We're not going back to Nigeria to next August. Nas, there's no tour in November, brother. I mean, I'm going to Africa myself. But we're not doing a tour in November. We had to cancel it, brother. We had to cancel it, man. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'll be in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria.
You want to tag along?
Yeah, you can meet me in Nigeria. That's cool, but as far as ain't no tour. Ain't no tour.
Hey, but seriously, man, it's real though, man. Oh, she got 1 million. Okay, she got 1 million, but she wasted all her money. That's what I'm saying. But the point is, handing black people a bag of money is not going to fix nothing really. And I'm not saying that if they give out reparations, butter biscuits, I ain't gonna take some. But
I know you're gonna take them, B. You like them biscuits.
I love them. But the thing is, what I'm gonna do with the money is gonna be a far cry from what a person who ain't never had that kind of money is gonna do with the money.
I feel you. I feel you.
People sell Big Mama house. I want to keep Big Mama house and rent it out to some Mexicans. But no,
I mean, unfortunately, our people, some of our people are very stubborn, but I think social media has given us a glimpse into the mind of, especially like the Black intellectual and the proactive Black person, because it's showing, not only the sentiment of people that want to go to the continent, like genuinely, not just like hitting the keyboard, but like the people that genuinely want to go, as well as the members of the diaspora that are already on the continent. Because it's very true. There has always been this remnant of let's go back to Africa. We see it through so many leaders of the past. They kept promoting us to do that. And it was actually through Wode Maya that I'm seeing that, wow, all across the continent. I mean, virtually every country that he's visited, he finds people that, oh yeah, I've been living here for 10 years. I moved in the 90s. You know, we had Amin Ra out in Kenya. He moved in the 90s. You know, so there are members of the diaspora that have been brave enough to do it. Those of us modern day, we have a lot more access to what's happening on the ground because of social media. We've gotten exposure, so we should feel a lot more comfortable about proceeding on. You know, it's not nearly as unknown. You know, they have that lady, One Africa in Ghana, who set up her resort. I believe she moved in the 90s too.
No. She moved in the 70s.
Yeah. And then there was, did you see last week, Waldemar had an interview with the diasporan ambassador in Ghana. And she's been there, you know, since the 70s too. So it's not as foreign as we think, you know, and those kind of stories give me so much encouragement because I'm like, okay, if they're doing it, I know I can do it.
Yeah, I stayed at One Africa when I first went to Ghana. She was like, she left in the 70s. It was just like, I don't think she's even been back to visit.
Yeah, a lot of them have
like maybe once. She was like, you know, I'm out. I'm gone.
I know. I mean, I said that he hadn't been back, and it was like over 20 years.
Yeah, rest in peace to Amaran. Guys, let's go ahead and close out. You know, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll start off with you, ladies first, Jenna.
Big shout outs, Dinah Samir. Big shout outs to the Search for a Huru family, also the African Superstar family. I see you guys there. Thank you for having me on. I think this was a good topic. You do a good work here. You know, I always support you. Big shout outs also to Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Always, you know, vibrant and passionate about the subject matter. So I appreciate you guys having me here. To any viewers that are not familiar, I'm also a content creator. You can check me out. My channel is called The African Superstar, just like on the screen. You can come over. We have, you know, similar conversations on my platform. And thank you so much for having me tonight. And I'll see you again very soon.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to everybody's respective guests who come together on Dinah's channel. I create content. Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. I'm very positive on my channel. I don't be talking a lot of mess. I still talk mess, but in a positive direction. Man, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, just keep getting information. Like they say, information is expensive, but it pays for itself. You come here to just get the seed watered. You know what I mean? And you have a hectic day, hectic work week. You know, you got the crackers harassing you and stuff, but you can always find a little bit of an oasis on YouTube when you come to places where like-minded people are breaking down, you know, the different events that are occurring and trying to just point you in a positive direction. You need a plan. If you don't got one, you need to make one and you need to execute it. Don't forget, you don't got to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. Until the next time, please go subscribe to my channel if you want more of what I have to say.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.